Welcome back to Up Barstool.
Are you gonna do this all month?
FS1. Yeah, dude.
We're gonna do this all month.
All month.
Is 1 the number of the day in FS1?
What's that?
You-
Oh,
you're
yeah.
doing the
I was
count.
doing like a count thing. Yeah.
Sesame
Yes. It is the number of the day.
Thank you.
For anybody who was unaware.
Speaking of one, we have college football's number one personality on the show today.
Yep.
And so let's talk some CFP. Later in the show, we'll look forward to the weekend that will be. But Brandon, give us your biggest winners from last weekend's action.
So I have an on-the-field winner and I have an off-the-field winner. And on the field, I think it was clearly Alabama. Alabama started the season on an embarrassing note, losing to a Florida State team who went 2-10 last year. Alabama last season went 9-4 with a playoff roster. I thought Kalen DeBoer didn't fit. It wasn't working. It looked like we were heading towards a nasty divorce. And then one game is all it takes, really, in the SEC to change everything. You go on the road to Georgia. You take on a Kirby Smart that doesn't appear to know how to coach football when Alabama's on the other sideline. Ty Simpson looks efficient, looks good. Jeremy Bernard has come on as the number one receiver. Ryan Williams is still good, too, but Jeremy Bernard has really changed that offense. And Alabama now looks like a contender once again in the SEC. And SEC, by the way, that looks pretty depleted at the top as far as elite teams go. It's a deep conference, but it's not elite at the top right now.
One of the craziest conversations that we had in the most recent Unnecessary Roughness was trying to slot 4 SEC teams to make the playoffs. Who would you put there right now? I mean, there are legitimately 7 to 8 candidates.
I think it's just, this is a cop-out answer. I just think it's too early. No,
it's entirely too early.
Oklahoma's back half of their schedule is brutal and nasty. They're number 5 right now. I don't think they're going to make the playoff. Ole Miss is number 4 in the country, and their schedule's not that tough. So they're probably making the playoff, but I don't think they're cruising to the playoff like a number 4 team should do.
But like Tennessee,
Georgia, Alabama.
A&M is very much alive.
You have
forgotten about Texas.
You probably have 8 teams that are alive for a playoff spot in the SEC right now.
It's insane.
Including, of course, the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Well, yeah. Look, you don't need to focus on playoffs. Mississippi State just needs to focus on Jeff Lebby, program moving in the right direction, positive vibes all around.
But the biggest winner in college football this weekend happened off the field because nobody has noticed it. Nobody has talked about it, and we have all allowed it to happen, but a coup has been pulled off in college football.
Yeah.
A coup has been pulled off in Fayetteville, Arkansas, where a couple of years ago, Sam Pittman, who was not long for this world as a head football coach in college football, decided, hey, you know what would be a good idea? If I went back into Arkansas history and I got a guy who resigned in disgrace, who got fired in disgrace over a decade ago, Bobby Petrino, who had Arkansas in the top 10 in the Sugar Bowl, had to resign after this press conference right here where he had a motorcycle accident. It turned out he was doing some things he shouldn't have been doing, and he resigned and he went away. And Sam Pittman said, you know what I ought to do? I ought to bring him back. I ought to bring one of the best coaches in recent Arkansas history back. And what did Bobby Petrino do? He bided his time. He coordinated the offense. And then the second there was some vulnerability shown and Sam Pittman was going to be out the door, Bobby Petrino raised his hand. I'll do it, everybody. Hey, I'll be the interim coach. And the next day, after being named the interim coach, a guy who was an assistant coach days earlier said, 3 defensive assistants, you're fired. You're out of here. Bobby Petrino played the long game, got his job back, and I guarantee you right now, if you had some truth serum and you served to Bobby Petrino and said, hey, are you the interim coach at Arkansas or are you the coach at Arkansas? That man would say, I am the football coach at the University of Arkansas. His long con has finally been completed.
Well, and they're not even trying to hide it. I mean, already the ADs talk about, look, we'll conduct a search, but Petrino is absolutely in the mix for the long-term job. He has expressed desire to be the long-term coach at Arkansas once again, and it's very funny because it is a long con, and it's got a wonderful Game of Thrones flair, but we all knew it was coming from day one. This was the joke that every single sports show made when he was hired, was that Sam Pittman just hired his interim replacement. Now, maybe the timeline took a little longer, but I'll be damned if all roads didn't lead to Petrino in the end.
It led right back to him, and he's the one that brought the road back. It was just, it's been an incredible couple of weeks. I feel like it's an underreported story. It's under-talked about, but Bobby Petrino is back in charge at Arkansas, and I think the chances of him retaining this job and being the coach next year are they're not high, but they're not that low either. I'd put them around 50-50, to be honest.
He can sell that most intoxicating of drugs, nostalgia.
Nostalgia and hope. If he is able to, he needs to pick off a big boy in the SEC this year. The offense is already good enough. They didn't play well against Notre Dame, but the offense has a good quarterback. They're good enough. If he can get that defense to play any kind of football, they might be able to win a game that makes them say, well, now, wait a minute, this is our guy. Let's just go with that.
So we're aware of this coup now. We know what's happening.
Right.
Is there another coach out there who would potentially be able to pull this off at a different school? Should we keep our alert up anywhere? Are there any other options?
I mean, yeah, I think there's one obvious one.
Thing here?
No, not necessarily. Well, who's your obvious one?
I mean, Biff at Michigan.
No way.
Listen.
No way.
Biff is like likable. He's affable, and Michigan kind of looked better when he was the coach. And he's the one that took the training wheels off Bryce Underwood. And I think Sharon Moore is holding that program back. So it's not going to happen. Biff's not, probably not going to be the Michigan coach. But if you're asking about hypotheticals,
well, we'll have our resident W and M guy, Dave Portnoy, coming on next, and maybe we can ask him. Let's talk about buyouts for a bit here, guys, because the buyout conversation has always been ridiculous. Paying millions of dollars to a man simply to have him not work and to go away. But especially in the NIL era, I think we have to revisit these contracts, revisit these conversations, because every single dollar you spend now comes with the opportunity cost of that could have been spent on talent. And I mean, you look around, already we've seen many coaches fired. I think Gundy's getting $15 million from Oklahoma State. And how crazy is it that we've arrived at a place where when I hear that, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
that's not a bad price for Oklahoma State to have to pay.
Well, I look at Auburn right now. So Auburn has got Hugh Freeze, and it just hasn't really worked.
No.
And I think they've got the talent. They got great receivers. They got a good defense. And for whatever reason, it just has not worked. And I looked up his buyout. Hugh Freeze's buyout is $16 million. I did the exact same thing. I'm like, $16 million?
60. I mean, Auburn can probably afford that.
So that's tomorrow. That's not a big deal. But make no mistake, there's a lot of teams getting ready for the playoff push in college football. And the ones who aren't are having meetings behind closed doors and moving money around saying, let's figure out how we're going to do this. Because I promise you, T-Bob, in Baton Rouge, somebody somewhere is talking about Brian Kelly's buyout, as massive as it might be.
So again, though, this is why I think regardless, and this might not be the worst thing, sometimes you have to be protected from your own emotions because a head coaching change is such a risky endeavor. But this is why I think that Brian Kelly's completely safe in Baton Rouge, maybe barring like some just 3-9 season. He's owed the remainder of his contract. Right now, that'd be $60 million. Next year, $50 million. Again, Louisiana is not a very economically rich state, and in a day and age, that's 2 rosters. That is 2 championship-level rosters worth of resources. All right, well, we've got
Fired college football coach is the best gig in America.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
But they don't even get it because they all just want to go back to work. Shout out to Coach O, the only one who's normal.